Daikeler.
People out there, right? There he is! Favorite shirt! Can I lean here like this? Is that a good photo opportunity? I'll do the opposite of Clint Eastwood. I'll talk to an empty podium. First off, I want to say I was told this is a complete setup, but I was given this, and I'm supposed to be like, yeah, Spartans! I'd be pelted with fruit from some people. Alright, so I can't forget that cool shirt, and somebody better get me the other side just in case I see the enemy or whatever. So, thank you all for coming out. I will warn you in advance that Jeff Armbruster, his job is to rip me out of here at 1 so that I make it to Chicago in time for their event, and then get down to Atlanta tonight, so it's been a pretty crazy day. I also am going to open it up for some questions. Can't take a lot of them, but if you have some questions, how often do we all get together? Not often enough. So start thinking, what would I like to ask this guy? And you can ask me anything. So, but first, let me just say that what you're going to experience today, what you're going to see in the video, I assume Trina will play the video, will give you insight into this very exciting opportunity that we're opening up in Canada now. And I just want to stress, we go on and on about it a little bit, but it's for a reason. We're not officially opening the business in Canada. What we're actually officially doing is allowing Canadians to join the US business. That is a very important distinction because we need to get a business license to do this in Canada, but we believe we have the go-ahead, we're confident that we have the go-ahead to allow Canadians to join the US coaching opportunity. That's important. That's an important distinction because we don't want to get in the way of when we actually do open it up so that, for instance, Canadian coaches get paid in Canadian dollars and all that kind of stuff. So for right now, as of midday October 1st, we will be allowing Canadians to, there'll be the ability to pick Canada as the country. So that'll be exciting. But you'll get more detail on that today, of course, launching the the Les Mills Combat on October 1st is super exciting. I mean, anybody who did that workout at Summit or who did it at Leadership. How many people here were with us at Leadership? Good crowd. Look at all these leaders there. Awesome. Really. Seriously, you guys, for a town that I think has a little bit of a size complex. Seriously, like everybody I'm talking to is like, I'm sorry, it's small, it's small. Tell me it's teeny. But when I was actually first got in my career, I was in TV syndication. I used to sell like bowling shows and college national final rodeo, meaning selling. I would call stations up and get them to air it. Alpena was one of my markets. It's very proud. I probably sold programs to you a very TV network. So in any case, it was a cool leadership. A lot of people got turned on to combat, and I think are excited about that. Just phenomenal program. I mean, when I first saw it the first time, I was down in New Zealand. We were working on Les Mills Pump. And so it's this big gym that they have at the Les Mills facility down there. And so we finished the rehearsal. They were gathering up our stuff, and all these people were coming in for the next workout, the actual gym. I said, what are they going to do? And they said, we're going to do Les Mills Body Combat. I said, oh, can I see a little bit? So I watched this thing, and it was the most entertaining thing. Like literally, you know a good workout when you want to just sit there and watch it. That's the way I felt the first time I saw Shalene do Turbo Jam or Turbo Kick. I was like, I didn't want to do it, but I want to watch it. So that's the way I felt about combat. A lot of people have said that they have mixed martial arts programs. This is truly a mixed martial art program, and it's set to unbelievable music, led by people who have actually been in the ring and taken people's heads off. So it's like the real deal. Like, it's really cool. Not that I'm in favor of taking people's heads off, but it's just really cool what they put together. That pre-orders launch October 1st, again, about midday, and you want to get you and your team in on that. It's going to be a great Christmas present, kind of similar. You know, if you remember last year, we did the P90X2 release in pre-order, and that made everybody's December really good because they got the product, they got a bump in volume and commissions and everything. So take advantage of that, get the enthusiasm up, get people excited about this program. Forward the videos that we have there on my YouTube page and around so that they see just how cool this thing is, so you take advantage of it. Of course, we also have, is anybody planning right now to do the reset with me starting October 10th? Oh, yeah. I love that. Okay, we have about, that's a good bunch of people. We have about 1,600 people who have basically signed on to do it. If you have not done the, who in here has done the Ultimate Reset already? Yeah. Good crowd. Ooh. Okay. You know, help get you regular, lose 10 pounds in 21 days without exercise, get your energy back, all natural, help you sleep better, and teach you how to eat well. The reason that I'm doing this, starting October 10th, so that I'm lean and clean by Halloween. Literally, for the first time in my life, I'm going to go into Thanksgiving feeling better than I normally do when I get done 90 days of a program. Like, I'm going to feel so good because I'm going to be eating well. And that's what this is about. It's about learning how to eat well. I had actually a harder time doing 21 days of Ultimate Reset than I did finishing P90X. Because P90X, you do the workouts, you just push yourself to do it. But the Ultimate Reset, boy, takes discipline throughout the day. But it is so incredibly rewarding. And, you know, as Trina said, the problems that we have, I mean, can you imagine saving $8 billion as a state? Everybody's complaining, oh, the economy, oh, the budgets, it's terrible. You know, there are cities that are going bankrupt because things are so upside down because of all this real estate and you know, just what we've gone through with this recession. Yet, so few people are taking personal accountability for the problem. Okay, so everybody wants health care, everybody wants a better healthcare system. How about this insurance? How's it going to work out? Are you entitled to it? Are you not entitled to it? How about we're all responsible for our own role in creating the healthcare crisis? That a guy said the other day, I was talking to him on the phone, and he's like, man, boy, traffic is really bad here today. And then he goes, oh, wait a minute, I am the traffic. We are the healthcare crisis. It's not them, it's not that lady, it's not the people with their heads cut off in the newscast, you know, with the French fries and the Happy Meal and all that stuff. It is us. Those decisions that we make every day are the healthcare crisis. Doesn't mean you can't enjoy life, have a birthday cake, have some pizza if you want. It means don't have a huge piece of birthday cake. It means don't have a birthday cake every Friday for everybody's birthday in the world. Literally. No, I mean it. Like, you know, we have 700 people work at Beachbody in Santa Monica, and everybody always wants to celebrate every birthday. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a jerk about birthdays, but I'm not going to have cake twice a day, every day. I'll high five, I'll send a birthday card to people, but I don't mean to be the birthday Grinch, but there's a way that I want to live. And it's not going to be about cupcakes and soda and popcorn to gratify myself at every time that I need a little reward. So, getting back to the reset. The reason I'm doing the reset is it helps me with the discipline going into the parties, going into selecting meals in the fourth quarter when your body sort of naturally wants to comfort itself because you're sort of getting into this hibernation stage, you're starting to wear heavier clothes, you don't have the pressure to go to the beach. So I'm asking you all to step up. If you're not going to do it, and it's okay because for some people it's hard to stop exercising because you don't want to exercise while you do the cleanse. But I'm asking you to see if you can invite some people. See if you can get one person or two people to do it with me. We're going to support each other. I'm going to be very active on the Facebook group. It's an event group that we have at Beachbody Ultimate Reset. And I really want to get as many people to do this because when we do this, when we get these people, it has this sort of echo effect. Because they're carrying around their gallon of water, they're peeing all the time, but they're feeling great, they're sleeping better. Sleep! We take it for granted, but how many people in here and out there are popping an Ambien or something? They're struggling. How do I get to sleep? Because my mind is working all the time. Something about taking the caffeine out of your life, reducing the sugar, your body working less hard to process the toxins makes you sleep so soundly. You're going to have dreams. It's going to be like movie night while you sleep. It's amazing. So I'm suggesting, and I'm actually strongly urging you to get as many people as possible to do this Ultimate Reset with me starting October 10th, so we support each other, and that way it's done by Halloween. And what's going to be an interesting test is to see how people get to Halloween, and you're going to look at that candy in that bucket that normally, you know, that, I don't know about you, but your kids have that big thing, you don't want them to eat it, so you eat it. You're not going to want to do it. You're going to want to throw it away. And that is an interesting problem, because you're like, throw it away. I'm wasting food. What about the poor kids in China that don't have any candy? And it's exactly why the work you are doing, the fact that you took time out of your Saturday, I'm sure there's football on, or football's coming, or there's things to do, beautiful weather out there, and you guys are giving your time to come here to talk about ending a crisis of obesity that many of you look terrific, you don't even have the problem, but you see that the people around you are still smoking. They're using the fast food lane as a food group. That they don't understand the importance of activity or what it can do to improve their lives. You guys have stepped up. You've stepped up to be a part of this, and it's a really big deal because we have sort of lost sight of how good life can be. We've defined life instead by, you know, what number iPhone do I have, or what's my score on Halo, how am I gratifying myself with food, and you know, I want to be more. Personally, I want to be more than a brain on a stick with thumbs working a remote control. Like, I want more out of life than that. There's a lot out there, and I think we've limited ourselves by what's going to be on primetime TV, how much money do I make by what I do during the day, and how can I gratify myself through this until I finally die. And that's not the way that I want to live, and I think that's not the way people have to live who want to get more out of life. Again, it doesn't mean that you have to be ripped. It doesn't mean that you have to be the thinnest person around. It just means that you need to be making conscious choices and understanding what the effect of what you eat has on you. What the effect, those chemicals that are in everything. You don't even know, from the soaps, the shampoo, like the perfume. I saw a friend of mine the other day, she was in town, and I was like, what are you doing? She was in her hotel room, and she's like, oh, I just wanted to smell good. And she was squirting perfume in the air. And I'm like, let me see that for a second. And I was like, why don't you just stand behind a Mack truck and breathe? Like literally, like there's toxins up in the air. And then she's like, well, I like candles too. She put up these candles. I'm like, wait a minute. Do you understand the aluminum in the wick? Do you understand that this is from paraffin wax, so it's actually petroleum-based wax? So it's like you have two cars in here with their exhaust in your hotel room so that it smells like vanilla. Are you kidding me? My point is that society, and nobody's to blame except for the fact that we sort of tilted things toward money and toward economy and toward getting ahead and away from the consequence of our desire to get ahead and have money. And that's what we need to fix. So you in here as Beachbody coaches, I have to tell you, if you're here because this is a really cool multi-level marketing opportunity and you might get rich, you are probably in the wrong multi-level marketing opportunity to get rich, because there are much easier ways to make money. There are gimmicks to be sold. I saw one that you sort of put a sticker on you and it makes you thin. And we're not past that. Give me my stickers. You know? STP, NASCAR, whatever. It's awesome. So, you know, there are other ways to make money. If that's what you're about, this is probably not for you, because I have to tell you, this is the hardest multi-level marketing business you could possibly sign up for. But it is also the one that's going to do the best for the people, the friends, the Facebook friends, your family, your coworkers, your colleagues. It's the one that's going to do the best for them of anything that you could possibly participate in. And that is because from the top to the level of leaders that are represented in this room, these are people that get it. that for the long term, the billion-dollar opportunity is about serving mankind, not ripping mankind apart for $1. The billion-dollar opportunity for you, I'm not talking about for me, I'm not talking about for the company, but if you want to be a billionaire or a millionaire, you achieve that by building people up, by bringing people up, by being a force of helping people. You know, I saw Richard Neal in Ohio. People have seen his results, and you know, we've got both $100,000 winners at Super Saturdays today. Amazing transformation. Those two people probably got introduced to this because somebody said, hey, I'm doing this thing, Beachbody Challenge, how would you like to get involved? That person, and in fact, I know Richard Neal's story better than yours, I apologize, but Richard's story is very interesting because Jason Sheff, the lead singer of Chicago, he was using this. He's a friend of Tony, so he got involved with Beachbody as a coach. He's like, hey, maybe that'll keep me, put pressure on me to, while I'm on tour, to live a little bit healthier. He had this friend, Jeff Wald, an insurance salesman in Nashville, and he was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And this guy was like struggling. He wasn't a Emerald. He's like had one coach on his team, wasn't making any money, but he's like, yeah, it's good, keep me going. And then I remember, because I met these guys at Jason's house when I was making a little speech there. We had maybe 15 people in Jason's backyard, and there was this guy sitting in front of me weighing 300 and something pounds. And I asked people, what program are you going to do, what program? And he said, I'm going to do P90X. Now I'm human too. And I'm thinking to myself, no way are you going to do P90X. This is the last time I'm going to see this guy. Like I'm thinking, I think it was 380 pounds or something. And maybe even more than that. Anyway, I'm like, because I see people start these things. It's very hard. I talked to Greg this morning. It's so easy to start and so hard to complete. And once you complete, it's so hard because emotion happens and life happens. It's so hard to keep it off. Because we're surrounded by the profit machine and fast food and advertisements and video games and all these other opportunities. And frankly, those messages that have now seeped into our culture that make it so that every PTA meeting is about donuts and coffee, and every little celebration for the kids because they got a gold star on their test is about a snack and a cupcake. That's what's been ingrained in us. But the people who see it through are the heroes, these individuals. I'm not talking about a huge group of people. I'm talking about one person. If I manage to get one person today in this room to step up like these people have, like Mindy, like Trina, like Janelle, like Scotty, it's just outrageous what you can do, that one person, how you can lift people up. But you don't know. Just like Jason didn't know that Jeff would sometime meet Richard, and Richard would be in front of me at something and get motivated and see it all the way through to lose 242 pounds and win $100,000 in cash. You don't know when you have a conversation with somebody. You don't know if you are wasting your breath. You could talk to 100 people, and based on these stats, 1 in 3, that means 30 of them are going to be smokers, and the last thing they want to do is have their addiction ripped out of their hands. But you don't know when you have that conversation, when you're having it at a time that is exact, destiny, perfect. That person was hoping somebody would interrupt their life and say, I'm going to help you. Not you're bad, not you need to do better, but if you want to change, I'm going to help you. You don't know that. So your job is not to try to figure it out. Your job is just to, as we say, invite, invite, invite. And the fact that you're here, the fact that you're willing to invite, 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 the fact that you understand that you need to be the proof the product works, that you need to drink this shake because you can't pretend it's the healthiest meal of the day if you're not experiencing the healthiest meal of the day. That you're not going to pretend that the ultimate reset, that getting, right now, as clean as the air is here, and it is gorgeous and beautiful, but I promise you, the air is not as clean as we think. The oxygen is not as pure as it used to be. Just the fact that if you get in your car, if you drive in traffic at all, you are around fumes. They get in your body, they get trapped in your body, you need a way to get them out. If you ever eat fish, you're taking in mercury. That means that you need to find a way to get that out. You need to be proof the product works. You need to experience, look, I don't want to eat healthy. I'm telling you right now, I don't want to eat healthy and I don't want to work out. Can't stand it. Actually, that's not totally true. I don't mind it when it's done. And I don't mind it when I'm kind of in the middle of it, maybe, but I don't love it because I've got other things to do. But I got to do it, and you guys keep me accountable to it. I know I got to do it. I can't stand up here and be 50 pounds overweight. I would make me nuts. I would be inauthentic, and I would explode when I got into the parking lot. I need to be authentic up here. I need to be the proof the product works. You need to be the proof the product works. You need to experience the ultimate reset with me. And the people around you need to experience the ultimate reset to understand just how good you can feel. I don't want to do it, but I need to do it because of what hand we're dealt right now. And you need to continue with personal development. Those 3 vital behaviors, invite, 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 be the proof the product works, and do your personal development are absolutely huge. That personal development, after you lose the weight, is how you keep the weight off. That's what I think, because that personal development is what's going to help you manage emotional trauma, downturns in the economy or whatever's going, you lose a job or you're not recruiting people and you feel like Beachbody's really not living up to the blah, blah, blah. The personal development is going to keep you on track. Those 3 things are why we call them the vital behaviors. That's what you need to do. And again, the fact that you guys are here shows that you have leadership potential. You guys can be the leaders in this. It's not going to be a get-rich-quick scheme. There are other MLMs for that. Go get your car, go do what you got to do. But what I need here, the investment that I want to make, the time I want to spend with you on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and in chats and coming and visiting people is with the people who truly get it, who feel like they are being called to something bigger, something that means more than just how much money we can make. But let me tell you this, the more people you help, the more money you will make. We have million-dollar earners in this room because they're helping so many people. That's the great thing about this. That's why I think this is the healthiest MLM in the world, because we are not trafficking on our friends, we are getting paid for helping our friends overcome this incredibly difficult situation that we're in. And we're not getting help from the government, we're not getting help from insurance companies, we're not getting help from even the health institutions themselves. Doctors barely know how to eat right. Seriously, I've got a doctor who is like, I want to give him nutrition advice. I want to help him get healthy. You know? But I don't take insurance, so I can't help him. At the end of the day, it comes to us. It comes to what we're about. It's not helping them out there. You start with yourself. You start with who you want to be. Then, and only then, can you start to help the next person and what they want to be. And then maybe they'll help the next person and what they want to be. Like I was in a meeting I've told this story before, but I was at a meeting where this big sort of, like, they were trying to put a think tank together, and there was 100 people in the room, and everybody was talking about childhood obesity and how terrible it is. And I remember the lady who was running the Girl Scouts stood up, and she was about 80 pounds overweight, and she was talking about just how terrible this childhood obesity epidemic, and the Girl Scouts are doing everything they possibly can to help end it. They're trying to educate people. And it was my turn to talk next, and I was like, I'm sorry to say that I think the Girl Scouts could do a really good thing if perhaps they use something other than cookies for fundraising. I was not the most popular guy in the room. But I was the most honest guy in the room, and that's what I'm asking of you. We do not pretend that we're trying to end the trend of obesity and then serving donuts afterwards, right? We're just living, again, we're not judging people. We're doing this with love and compassion and absolute openness to people are going to start and they're going to fail and they're going to start again and they're going to fail again or they're going to quit or they're not going to be ready. That's okay. They're just being human. We are all being human, and we're all dealing with that. Our job is to just be open. Be the positive ones. I put a Instagram post up that just said, just be nice. Be the one who cares. When people fail, when people feel terrible, when they're like, God, this is not going well for me, just be the one who cares and try to figure out how can we get you around this. Get them on my Facebook page. Get them plugged in. we can make this happen. Now let me take a few questions before I close and Jeff rips me out of here, and then I'll let you do the real event, which is watching this video. But does anybody have any questions, or do they answer everything? Is there anything fascinating anything you want to know?
Carl,
Yes.
people submitted some questions ahead of time.
Oh, they did? Well, let's take this one, and then then you.
Well, when you did the alternate reset the first time, what phase was your hardest?
Day 3 through 5 are the hardest. That's for some reason. Now we found that people who are hardcore fitness have a harder time at around day 7 through 10. But day 3 through 5, like clockwork, which is one of the reasons that we start on Wednesday, so you can do day 3 and 5 on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so you don't crater your job. But for some reason, day 3 through 5 is where you don't have as much sugar. You're not getting obviously the caffeine, and something is shifting, and your body's. It's almost like you ever seen the Hulk? So like the Hulk is.
He's right here.
What's that? Yeah, right. Okay. So it's like these two. You got David Banner on one side and the Hulk on the other. So although Daniel's on his way, man, he's getting big. But it's that transition to the Hulk that looks painful, right? And that's what day 3 through 5 is, where you're sort of going through your transition phase, and you've got more toxins getting flushed out because you're not bombarding the body with more toxins, and it's just for some reason that part is hard. Water's the big. Water, sleep, make sure you're not working out. We're not kidding about this. You've got one immune system. That immune system can only do so much work. When you work out, you break down muscles, you create toxins as you flush stuff out, and your body needs to rebuild. That's why you do not want to work out while you're rebuilding your liver, kidney, spleen, gallbladder, and so on. You want to be able to let them flush without putting more toxins on top of it. You're going to feel fluish symptoms. You'll have headaches. And then day 6, what we saw around the office, Daniel can attest to this, people are like walking around, blues are so much bluer. Seriously. I was in a meeting with a guy, with Charles, who runs the Ultimate Reset. He was like, in the meeting like this. Charles, you popping something or what? He's like, just your office is so bright and pretty. I'm like, okay, that's day 6 for you. So there is something about this. It feels better, you get more rest, and it feels really good. So, Trina, what else do you have?
Awesome. We had 3 quick questions, and I'm watching the clock, Jeff. We will show
We're going to push to 105. I'm pushing to 105.
He's in charge. One of the questions that was submitted was, what are you reading or listening to right now personally, or what did you just finish? If you just finished something.
Yeah, that's it's a tough one. So I'll talk. It's less about what I am and more about how I do it. So I have one of these Kindles, okay, and I have probably 30 books on there, and every night I read for about a half hour, and I never turn off the processing of being self-aware. So as I'm all day long looking at struggles, I struggle too, I have motivational issues. Anytime you see one of these little motivational messages on my Instagram or something, you know that is me talking to me first. I'm not talking at you, I'm talking to myself, and I'm like, hey, you know what, that might be helpful. So I'm constantly trying to be self-aware, and that's how I keep my fire stoked. But when it comes to reading time, sometimes I'll get into a really, really good book. I enjoyed this book by Jay Heinrichs, who I think it's called Thank You for Arguing. It's about argument and persuasion. I thought that was a really good book, and I finished that. And I read Seth Godin. His books really keep me going. But I like to read based on where I am that day, or based on what I've got tomorrow. That's the self-awareness. So I go through the Kindle and just one will pop out. There's a new book by Steve Sachs called Shift, which is about attitude, which is an awesome book because he talks about how he went through this incredible slump, error after error, terrible, and then he went just a click in his mind, and how he went to being a Golden Glove outfielder, outrageously decorated Hall of Famer baseball player, and it was just a shift in his attitude and confidence. So that's really the answer. And the reason I don't want to just spout off a bunch of titles to you is I'd suggest you go through Amazon or you go to the bookstore and you look at what talks to you. The right book is going to jump out at you if you're open to it, or if you're self-aware and you go, God, what is in my way? What is struggling with me? Is it attitude? Do I have negative chatter up here? Do I have a problem with consistency? Do I not believe in myself? Or am I? Do I not know how to ask for the sale? Do I not know how to? Do I not have the courage for that? So you just find the problem that's in the way of you helping people get healthy and fit, and that's what you read. And so you start to collect these things, and they start to come at you, and you end up with I don't have a nightstand. I got a book pile by my bed, and that's sort of the way I go.
Excellent. If you were hiring and the job description area, it says help wanted. We're going to do a little thing on this after you go. It said help wanted, and you were hiring for the best coach you could possibly hire in Beachbody. What would you be looking for in that person? What's their job description? For the coaches out here, what do we need to be?
Well, I don't want to exclude anybody, but it's interesting. Help wanted.
And you're hiring the best coach you can find to represent Team Beachbody. What do they need to be?
They have to lead with heart. Intellect matters. You want somebody who, I'll use you as an example, which will make you feel nice and comfortable. Somebody who thinks, who doesn't just sit back and wait for it to come to them. Somebody who's thinking proactively. What can I do? How can I create? How can I do better? I mean, the way you showed up for your speech just blew me away. When she walked on, I was like, oh my God, I got to start preparing for these things. She had slides, she had things, a clicker, and I was like, wow, that's a pro. Shalene Johnson is the same way. She shows up and she's buttoned up. She's got these heels that she'd be about this tall right now. I mean, she just looks the part. She walks in the room and she commands it. That kind of persona is always impressive to me. But beside that persona, I look for a person who will fall in love with Beachbody. Now I'm stealing that from Steve Jobs. He used to look for somebody who was smart. That was their ante to get a job at Apple. But he looked for people who would fall in love with Apple. And I would say look for people who are not looking for the easy buck. Like you said, easier to say what they're not. They're not looking for the easy buck. They're not some network marketing hip hopper from thing to thing to thing. You want to find the person that has the big heart, that is an influencer, that when they open their mouths, people listen because people know that they care. They're not in it for themselves. They're not just in to try to push what they're trying to push, but they really care about helping people. And part of that is that they won't give up on helping people. You look at somebody like Tracy Morrow, who's been a coach since the very, very beginning. She has never stopped caring about people, even though she has achieved financial success beyond her wildest dreams. And that is an important one as well. We've seen people who have achieved incredible financial success, and then you watch them turn off, and it just stops. Because they're like, wait a minute, I was using my financial objectives to motivate myself, and now I've got this car. No, I've got 6 cars. And literally, we've got people like 6 cars, they can't buy any more cars. And now they're like, where do I find my traction? This is the traction. That's the ideal coach, is the person that finds traction every time they get an email from somebody who says thank you. Every time they get an email from a coach who says, I just found out that my aunt that I introduced this to is helping her fibromyalgia, or she's getting off her depression medication, or she's finally regular, or whatever weird stuff people share with you. That's what you get, and that's what, if a person who can tap into that will be wealthy beyond measure, and they will actually be building a business that their kids will inherit, and they'll be showing their kids how to work with passion, enthusiasm, and the desire to help people. Imagine if that's what we taught our kids. Instead of, hey son, get good grades, go to college, get a degree, get a job, and then you're gonna die just like me, good boy. Instead, son and daughter, follow your heart, see what you can do to have a positive impact on the world, plug into an opportunity where you've got the tools, skills, and support to truly make an impact on the world, to raise people up, to improve society, to improve the health of our country, And by the way, you might also get rich. Find that, son. Well, Dad, why don't you do that? Okay, I'll do that too. That's a great coach, somebody who really goes from here.
Awesome, let's give him a hand for that.
Last
Can you, I know we have a quick one from Liza, so I saw your question, I'm gonna ask it. So it's 2 questions, but they're both 30 seconds. How's that, Jeff? Liza had posted, can you explain a little bit really quickly the kind of merger of Powder Blue? Does that mean that some of those classes will eventually become programs? And also wondered if that might open up an opportunity to have more presenters for that company, or are you hiring more people for Beachbody? Liza wants to know if she has a job.
Okay. Yes.
You should hire her.
Yeah, we are looking for more APDs, but I want to be clear that the purchase of Powder Blue and working with Shalene directly on this is sort of a dream for both of us, that we wanted to see Beachbody express our brands in the gyms so that we're approaching more people, because people work out in different ways. Like I don't like any witnesses when I work out. And seriously, I go down to the gym, I have a gym in the basement, and Isabel will come in and I'll be like, no. You know, the kids will come down and be like, I don't like witnesses. But John, you know, president, co-founder of the company, he needs to work around people. He likes the gym. It's not fair that the very programs that he helped create, he can't do at the gym. So that's why certification makes so much sense, so that it can be expressed there. And Shalene's brands in the Powder Blue business, Turbo Kick, Hip Hop Hustle, and Payo, other stuff that we're talking about, I think could find its way into the home market. But at the end of the day, these are 2 separate businesses. While they do both support the coaching business, because they'll open up more people to what we do, to our brands, and now give us more leads for Shakeology and the Ultimate Reset, they are separate and distinct. So, for instance, I would get certified in every program if I were a coach. I wish I could be a coach. Like I would just love to be, but I can't, because it wouldn't be fair. But if I could be, I would be certified in every one of our programs, because I would want to be the best at being a coach. I would want anybody who was looking around for a coach to see me on Facebook and Twitter and go, oh, that guy's been certified in everything. He knows what it's about. He really knows everything. He's really stepped up his game, so he's aware of what's going on. But I also would never teach a class, and I would never train a client, because I want to expand this in a way that that makes it so that people aren't reliant on me. So that's just insight from me. And I also think we'll have certified trainers who don't want to be coaches. It's just not going to be their thing, so that's okay. Our goal is to make Beachbody the #1 health and fitness brand in the world. And to do that, we're going to need to be everywhere that we can be, so that people have, as many people as possible, have access to our programming, and by virtue of the coaches, access to our nutritional products. So it's a very exciting chapter. It's expanding fast. We are going to expand the APD network, and Insanity and Brazil Buttlift will hopefully be part of the certification business sometime in 2013.
Awesome. In 1 minute, can you tell us, what does it mean to you to be first responders? You called us out at Summit this summer and said you're looking for us to be the first responders. What does that mean to you?
Greg, where are you?
He's going to speak right after you.
Okay,
actually.
so I'm going to steal what you were probably going to say. Sorry, you start rewriting. Greg, lost 90 pounds. He was working as a first responder in, what was it, paramedic? No. 911 first responder guy. And so he knows what it's like to deal with acute emergencies. And that's what's so difficult about this lifestyle disease that is affecting right now, 2/3 of the country in terms of overweight and obesity, but that they're talking that 13 states are actually going to get over 60% obesity. Obesity now we're talking in 13 states by 2030. So when I talk about being a first responder, and this is the perfect way to end this, I'm talking about dealing with an emergency that is very sneaky, because it's really easy, and I don't mean this, it's heroic, but it's easy to be selfless, a selfless first responder when you see a burning building, or you see some lady getting her purse snatched, or you see somebody getting bullied in the playground. It's easy to be a first responder then, because it's acute, it's an emergency, I gotta get on it. What we're seeing around our communities is a slow burning building and our friends and neighbors standing in that building. And they don't even know. Like, how do you visualize, how do you make it tangible that your lifestyle could actually be robbing you of 30 years on this planet to learn whatever you came here to learn? Your lifestyle in contracting type 2 diabetes or dying of morbid obesity can rob you of time with family and kids that you love so much. But it's a burning building. So that bag of Doritos, those cupcakes, that soda, that pink slime burger, not so bad, because it's going to be okay. I can work on it tomorrow. Meanwhile, the building is burning and burning and burning. We are the first responders that see that building is burning and burning, that we're conscious about it, that we're aware of it, that we're taking it seriously, and it is hard to take it seriously. But I'm telling you, somebody in this room, I know we got at least 10 leaders. We probably don't have, how many people do you think you have here? 150?
230.
230. I'm pretty sure we don't have 230 leaders in here. I'm just going to say it. Maybe we have 30 leaders in here. Maybe we have 100 leaders in here. You'd all make my day if I had 229 leaders in here. I mean, it would be huge. But it really comes down to what happens when I walk out of here and the video's turned off, and what are you going to do tonight? And what are you going to do tomorrow? Are you going to surface the materials that we give you to work this business on Facebook and Twitter? People come up to me all the time. I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to be on Summit. I'm going to be on the stage. It's going to be fantastic. Where's my award? And then I go, I check up, I look at their Facebook page. You would not have any idea that they care about obesity. What you find out is that they are really good at Farmville. And that's the truth. So all I'm asking of you is deal with your truth. Do you care about it or not? I'm not saying that you have to care about it. But if you want to be a first responder, don't be a fake first responder. Step up. Remember that we put up the newspaper clippings about the trend of obesity around your house. Buy a uniform. I'm actually seriously thinking about designing a uniform that would be the first responder in obesity uniform. It's going to be cool.
Does it go with heels? We're just wondering over
Of
here.
course. It's going to be all bling.
All right, can we put our hands together and say thank you, Mr. Carl?
Thank you, guys.